Coming up next on Middle Tennessee News, MTSU is going green by staying clear. Studio M is back to tell us how to stay financially smart, and local law enforcement is growing a garden for change. All those stories plus your latest weather. Middle Tennessee News starts right now. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Austin Thompson. Welcome to Middle Tennessee News. There's a huge step being created. MTSU, made a huge step towards creating a safer athletic environment this week, beginning fall 2019. Spectators attending Blue Raider football games will now have to follow a new clear bag policy to be approved for entry in the Floyd Stadium. Each bag must be either clear or plastic or no larger than a hand. While the overall goal of this policy is to create a safer environment for spectators, this new policy also will shorten the time it takes to search through bags at security checkpoints upon entry. In other news, 2 people are helping hundreds walk the path to freedom. Yunuku and Casey Lartigue founded the Teach North Korea Refugees Education Center in 2013. The organization helps refugees learn English and coaches them on public speaking. Lartigue came to MTSU to talk to students about the struggles refugees face.
At any one moment, we have about 60 North Korean refugees studying actively. This organization touches North Korean refugees directly and gives them skills and the power to take control of their lives.
KR has helped over 300 refugees take advantage of their newfound freedom. The city of Murfreesboro will be making improvements to the Richard Siegel Soccer Complex in the near future. City council members voted Thursday to approve a contract between the complex and the Tennessee State Soccer Association, allowing the association to move their headquarters to the Murfreesboro fields. The Richard Siegel Soccer Complex will also be receiving a $14 million renovation to install the 9 turf fields, an indoor soccer facility, an increase in seating at championship fields, drainage improvements, and more. In other news, new master degrees might be coming to MTSU. The Tennessee Higher Education Committee may add degrees in speech language pathology, biomedical sciences, and public health. MTSU already has an undergraduate program for speech pathology, so committee chair Pam Wright suggested a master's degree program. Dr. Mark Burns said that a master's program for biomedical sciences would prepare students for careers in dentistry, pharmacy, and other medical careers. Burns also said that a public health degree would benefit students going into the health field, since it's something companies look for when hiring. MTSU news station alumni in the School of Media and Entertainment gave some students interviews, and media students were given mock interviews, to help them get ready for what's coming when they actually apply for news jobs. There were reporters, public relations, and public affairs, and many more special guests that helped the student journalist and co-anchor Holly Thompson, WSMV, and chief investigative reporter Phil Williams, WTVF, were also present. The students dressed in their best attire and were interviewed for 20 minutes.
Sell yourself. You have to show that you've done something with the book learning, and that you are fine-tuning those skills and ready to present yourself for the professional market.
So coming up in weather, last time I was out there, definitely, it was sprinkling a little bit, but I guess we'll see. Hopefully those conditions are still looking great, and we'll have a full look at the weather later in the newscast. So still ahead on Middle Tennessee News. We'll be right back.
Sculpting the perfect body takes time. Quitting smoking does too. But with a little help, you can do it. Get the resources and support you need to quit smoking from the American Cancer Society at cancer.org/smokeout.
Hannah is bright, talented, and she's been so brave. Hannah complained of a headache. It was a rhabdomyosarcoma. Within a few days, Hannah was in treatment because we were told that the tumor was very aggressive. So we've essentially put our lives in South Africa on hold. Incredibly blessed to be here. St. Jude is an asset to the world. The research that is developed here is offered freely to the rest of the medical world. The entire way that the place operates is just to give and to care. I think it's the kind of place that not only stands as a beacon for pediatric cancer, but I think it could teach the world a couple of lessons about how to treat people. And I think if those lessons could be learned, even in their most basic form, this world could be a better place.
Repeat after me. Apple, table, penny.
Apple, bread.
I remember watching Dad with the kids and thinking, geez, in 6 years, will he even know who they are?
Ask me again.
1 in 10 Americans over 65 has Alzheimer's disease. Learn more today at brightfocus.org.
What does it look like when a life is truly changed?
I feel a sense of accomplishment because I built a house. This house has brought us financial independence.
Every family dreams to have their own house. This house changed our lives.
Habitat for Humanity is at work in your community and around the world. Through shelter, we empower.
Welcome back to Middle Tennessee News. I'm Austin Thompson. In local news, local law enforcement is honoring those who can't fight for themselves in Rutherford County. The Sheriff's Office recently planned something called a pinwheel garden. The pinwheel symbolized the prevention of child abuse through the program Pinwheels for Prevention. Both Rutherford County and Cannon counties planted these pinwheel gardens to recognize National Childhood Abuse Prevention Month. The month encourages communities to work together to prevent child abuse and neglect. The bell is the 147 years old, has finally been placed with the new church building. The bell rang at the original church location until the congregation moved in 2003. After staying in the original tower for 6 years, the bell was placed in the storage. Church member John Sow, who led the installation, said it would have been a tragedy to leave the bell unused. The bell will ring again on April 14th. In other news, the MTSU Photographic Society is growing here on campus. The Baldwin Photographic Gallery just recently added another installation of art and its temperature-controlled archive center. The new facility not far from campus will house 1,500 prints from distinguished photographers. The controlled climate also keeps prints safe. If the fire were to break out, gallery curator Jackie Hagel says the new facility will give students a chance to get hands-on with what they're already learning in the classroom.
We can actually take care of the work now that's been collected over 60 years' time. The second thing is we can now share the work more professionally with our students, with our faculty, with our graduate students who want to do research.
The Murfreesboro City Council approved federal HUD grants to address homelessness yesterday. The funding from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and totals over $100,000. The grant will go towards programs that serve homeless individuals or people in danger of becoming homeless. The next recession, when will it happen? There was a slight drop in the stock market at the end of the year that caused some alarm. Studio M reporter Joseph spoke with a consumer researcher about what this means and what we should expect.
Recently, it seems that everyone is talking about when the next recession might hit. Consumers and business leaders reported having less confidence in the market late last year, but these levels have since begun to rebound, according to the most recent data from MTSU's Consumer Confidence Report.
In the report that I wrote up about it, I indicated that I didn't expect to see a big increase in consumer spending because we also saw an uptick in the percentage of consumers who say they're going to save more and try to get out of debt, specifically credit card debt.
And as for when the next recession will hit, that's still hard to tell.
We don't know. No one can really predict when the next recession, but we know we're going to have one. That's just the way the economy is. It goes up, it goes down. But I think maybe some of the things we went through last year, especially with the wild stock market right at the end of the year, that seems to have kind of leveled off, and we're now we've got a definite uptick in the stock market. But I think it got people's attention.
According to Grave, consumer confidence in Tennessee's economy, especially in Middle Tennessee, is actually higher than the national average. He doesn't expect this to change in the near future, and concentrating on savings may be a key part in maintaining that.
Because we do want consumers saving money. We do want consumers out of debt because that sets the foundation for much greater long-term spending so that they have the money to spend in the future.
Governor Bill Lee's recent budget proposal also called for a boost to the state's rainy day fund. With the future of the economy still uncertain, now seems to be the time to start saving. For Studio M, I'm Joseph Choi.
Although things look uncertain right now, Dr. G says that Middle Tennessee's economy is uniquely strong. Its diverse makeup. That, along with the new business growth, could help shield the area from the economic downturn. Last night's Murfreesboro City Council meeting was more than just city business. Students from many Murfreesboro schools were recognized for their work in the Tennessee Invention Convention at last night's City Council meeting. The Invention Convention is an annual educational program and competition for students grades 4 through 6. At the convention, the students competed to create new, helpful, and fun inventions and games. The Middle Tennessee Invention Convention meets once every spring at MTSU.
So they actually create something new that never even existed. They come up with a problem and they try to figure out a way to solve it, and they create either the invention itself or a prototype of the invention.
40 Tennessee students were selected to go on to the National Convention this summer in Dearborn, Michigan. The city of Murfreesboro had its weekly city council meeting last night. The council meets once a week inside the council chambers at City Hall to discuss new and old business. Businesses can be anything from routine items like grants and budgets to discussions about expanding neighborhoods. The meetings are open to any Murfreesboro residents who want to know what's going on behind the scenes or to voice their opinions on community matters. The council is will be Thursday, April 11th at 7 p.m. Still ahead on Middle Tennessee News, we have much more news ahead along with weather and again so much more, so stay tuned.
Turn off your lights for Earth Hour. For our forests, our rivers, our oceans, our wildlife, and for our climate. for our Earth. Earth Hour, March 30th, 2019.
Your zip code. Just one number different, and you might have a whole other life. Different school, different job, different dreams, different problems. In America, the zip code you're born in can determine your future. The Y works to change that, with programs and services that help everyone thrive, no matter who you are or where you're from. For a better us, support your local Y today.
Breast cancer kills more than 41,000 people each year in the U.S. alone. That's unacceptable. That's why by 2026, Susan G. Komen will cut the number of breast cancer deaths in half. We'll get there by helping those who can't pay for treatments, by funding breakthroughs in research that save lives, by ensuring that all people receive the care they need. We'll get there, but only with your help. So, are you in?
My mother used to say a long time ago, whenever there would be any catastrophe that was on the air, she would say, always look for the helpers. Because if you look for the helpers, you'll know that there's hope.
Welcome back to Middle Tennessee News. So we have some traffic conditions that'll be up on your screen in a second, and everything looks clear. A little bit cloudy, as you can see, but traffic appears to be moving, and as you can tell, this is our TDOT traffic camera, SmartWay camera here, and again, looks like traffic is moving, and I can't say I see any sprinkles, but as you can see, it's going to be cloudy, 73 degrees, and you know, definitely a light wind of only 5 miles per hour. That looks like some great conditions. The only thing that could make that a little bit better is probably some sunshine, and I'm sure that we have some of that coming up. And as you can see, again, the traffic is moving nicely, and again, tonight we're expecting cloudy skies, and you know, again, just a light wind, and I'm really looking forward to this weekend. And Saturday and Sunday, you know, we'll see what the 5-day forecast looks like here. And as you can see, you know, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, definitely be sure to have an umbrella, your rain jacket for sure. But Saturday is looking to be beautiful at 77 degrees and only a low of 62. And not sure what your plans are this Friday night, but whatever you may be doing, let me tell you, I think you'll be all right. Maybe just a little sprinkle, and that's your 5-day forecast. And again, coming up next on Middle Tennessee News, we have more in sports, and there was quite a bit of action going on. That's coming up next on Middle Tennessee News.
Turn off your lights for Earth Hour. For our forests, our rivers, our oceans, our wildlife, and for our climate. For our Earth. Earth Hour, March 30th, 2019.
Your zip code. Just one number different, and you might have a whole other life. Different school, different job, different dreams, different problems. In America, the zip code you're born in can determine your future. The Y works to change that, with programs and services that help everyone thrive, no matter who you are or where you're from. For a better us, support your local Y today.
Breast cancer kills more than 41,000 people each year in the U.S. alone. That's unacceptable. That's why by 2026, Susan G. Komen will cut the number of breast cancer deaths in half. We'll get there by helping those who can't pay for treatments, by funding breakthroughs in research that save lives, by ensuring that all people receive the care they need. We'll get there, but only with your help. So, are you in?
My mother used to say a long time ago, whenever there would be any catastrophe that was on the air, she would say, always look for the helpers. Because if you look for the helpers, you'll know that there's hope.
In sports news, the Blue Raider men's golf team in their final stretch of tournament play this month. The team kicked off Mason Rudolph Championship this morning at Vanderbilt Legends Club in Franklin, Tennessee. Leading the way for the Raiders is senior Tanner Owens, finishing today's round 4 under par, placing MTSU in a comfortable 4th place tie with Kentucky. The tournament will continue through April 7th. From Nashville to Madison Square Garden, Lipscomb had a chance to claim the National Invitational Tournament against Texas last night. Things went poorly in the first half for the Bison. Garrison Matthews, who averaged 38.5 points in 2 games against NC State and Wichita State, struggled to shoot the ball well. He went 0 for 4 in the first while attempting only 1 3-pointer. Meanwhile, Dylan Nuskowski put up 15 points and 3 steals in the first half. Things would go slightly smoother for Lipscomb, but were still outscored 40-39 in the second half. The Bison ended their season losing to the Longhorns 81-66 despite the blowout loss. Lipscomb had a very successful year, going 29-8 and finishing regular season conference champions. The 1,000 miles of hate rivalry spreads for more than just football. The Blue Raiders are preparing for their match up against the rival Western Kentucky at home. Their last game against Murray State went well, winning that one 8-5. The team is hoping to translate their efforts this Tuesday into their series again against the Hilltoppers. Middle Tennessee has gotten off to a sluggish start, going 4-5 in conference play and 10-18 overall record. The Hilltoppers this year are coming off a tight game against 5th-ranked Vanderbilt, losing that game in 5-4. The series begins tomorrow night at 6 p.m. at Reese Smith Jr. Field. Everyone knows about Harry Potter and the famous boy wizard, but how much would you pay for a rare piece of its history? A copy of the first book in the Harry Potter series sold for more than $90,000 in a London auction. The specific edition is famed in the Potter fandom for containing a handful of typos, including misspelling the word philosopher and the repetition of one wand on Harry Potter's school supply list. Pizza lovers, this is a day to celebrate. It's a National Deep Dish Pizza Day. It's commonly thought that the deep dish pizza was invented in Chicago by Ike Sewell. However, a article from the Chicago Daily News claims Chef Rudy Modatali created the recipe. However, it came from and its widely popular style that many say cannot be beat. Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening for Middle Tennessee News. I'm Austin Thompson, and if you missed us, feel free to join us next week. Thank you for your time.